Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to the session on PTE Core. As people are joining, I hope that you can see the slides and you can hear me. If you could use the chat and type something in the chat that yes, we can hear you, we can see the slide, and share the country or the city you are from, because the chat is open. Okay, we can hear you. Angelica, hi. Philippines, Peru, Argentina, Venezuela, Paraguay. Great, great. And someone in USA, Samuel used Q&A. Good, so the Q&A is working fine as well. So the chat is for the general interaction, and there is a Q&A. We have our expert with us, Fabiana, who will be trying to support us. Not trying, she will be supporting us actually in the Q&A. So as you listen to my presentation, and you'll have some questions about PTE Core, anything that comes to your mind that you think it's important, that you'd like to know, just put the question in the Q&A. So the Q&A, this beautiful functionality allows to keep the questions in order, not different comments. This is the thing you can do when the question arises. My name is Bartłomiej Janiak, and I'm based in Poland. So right now it's 7 p.m. So it's like beautiful sun. This is this golden hour, the best time to take photos. So this is this golden atmosphere in the air, and we're enjoying pretty cool summer season, I must say. So I hope that you're enjoying your weather as well, wherever you are around the world. If it's raining, I hope that you are enjoying the rain, because I've heard allegedly that there are some people who actually enjoy the rain. So introduction and introducing PTE Core. Actually, the slide is with the name is like Everyday English, IRCC approved for all work and migration visas to Canada. So if we were to finish at this moment, I would say, please remember this information: Everyday English and for work and migration visas to Canada. So these are probably the most important information when it comes to asking a question to a potential test taker or a student, like, what do you want to do and why do you want to move to Canada? And just basing on this question, you'll be able to direct this person to the appropriate test. But more details. This is a series we've prepared a series of 4 webinars for you. Hi, Jose from Bolivia. Hi, Karen. So this is the first day introduction. Then after the summer month, closing to autumn, we'll have dedicated sessions to specific skills. So we'll have PTE Core for speaking, writing, PTE Core reading, and PTE Core listening. So the following webinars will be the webinars dedicated to particular question types within the PTE Core, where I will show you how can you create, actually, how can you use English language courseware to teach general English and to prepare for PTE Core. And of course, I will be sharing with you various resources so that you can design, create, and go towards PTE Core preparation. Today, the very general introductions. For those of you who attend the minimum of 3 sessions, so you have 4 sessions altogether, we will share with you the certificate by the end of the final sessions. So even if you miss one, you'll have you can watch the recording and you'll have a chance to attend 3 more sessions. So everything is like ahead of you, even if you are not present on this webinar. Just I'm saying this for the audience who will be watching the recording. The information about PTE. So in general, I hope that you are familiar with PTE Academic, because it's been for a long time in the market. So in general, the PTE experience, this is like the umbrella information that all the PTE experience, you can expect these elements, this test to be convenient. So it's a single 2-hour test. and the results are within 48 hours. There are no exam sessions, there are no exam windows, so the bookings are open all year, and there is a very simple booking procedure, and you need only 24 hours in advance to book the test. So it's not that you'll need to think several months in advance, although it is recommended, and I'm going to be sharing it with you during the next session why actually it's recommended to start thinking about preparation, because we talk about preparation to get good results. But in general, you can book 24 hours in advance. It's very accurate and objective because there is a computer-based marking, and the score is on a granular scale from 10 to 90 to show the performance. We'll talk about the score results in the forthcoming slides. The topics relate to everyday life situation, and that's why it's in red. I want you to remember that the topics presented in PTE Core relate to everyday life situation. It means that around the world, wherever you are, wherever the potential test taker is, the question types and the content of the question types, the problems presented there, will be familiar to all the people around the world. So they will meet with this situation that they can meet in everyday life situation. And of course, there are integrated tasks within the test that test more than one skill, as the normal communication when you communicate on a daily basis with different people. You are likely to be using more than one skill. So you'll be listening and speaking, you'll be reading and writing. So the integrated skills are included. And of course, we go to great lengths to prevent any fraudulent behavior. So there are several security measures taken at the testing center so that we can make sure that this is the right test takers and to prevent any behavior that would be considered illegal when it comes to taking the test. And you'll know where to find those procedures, where to find the requirements, so that you'll be equipped with all the knowledge and be ready to talk about PTE Core with the potential test takers and with your potential clients and students. The registration for all the PTE tests is very simple. So either by phone or online, you set up the account. Then we've designed preparation resources. So the preparation resources are not only for the test takers, but the preparation resources are also for the teachers, for the agents, so that they will familiarize themselves with the knowledge behind PTE Core. Because if you want to be really confident in the conversation with your clients, it's not only about sharing the link, but it's also about possessing the knowledge. So we'll talk about the score guide, and my recommendation is always for the people dealing with exams, familiarize yourself with the score guide so that at least you know where to find the scoring criteria. Okay, familiarize yourself with the test tips so that when you'll get a question from the student or from a potential test taker coming to the agent's office, what do I find in the test tips, you'll have the knowledge. Okay, so you'll have A, B, C, D, and then you can share the link. So once you've got the preparation resources, you've done the preparation. I mean, the students, they've done the preparation because they take the test. That's their knowledge, their skills. They take the test within the 2 days, 2 business days, they get the results, and then they can provide the results to the institution to see if they are eligible for the things they are applying. Yes, this will be the general portfolio of all the assessment within the PT portfolio. We have PT Academic, so I'd say, as the name suggests, the original, so longest in the market. 4 skills test measuring academic English. So this is the biggest difference. So this is academic English. So then we have PT Academic Online, and PT Academic UKVI. We also have PT Home. So the 2 skills tests on A1, A2, and B1 level, and the newest product and the newest feature, PTE Core General English. So this is the main subject, the main actor of today's webinar. Just as an element for those of you who'd like to refresh the knowledge, or maybe like a quick reminder or maybe you are new to PT portfolio and you like to learn something more. So when it comes to PT Academic, so as you see, it's accepted by Australian, New Zealand governments for all visas and by Canadian government for study permits, period. Okay, so if you are planning to study in Canada, then you know that PT Academic is the choice for you. Okay, when it comes to PT Academic UKVI, it's accepted for UK work visas and study visas below degree level. And then there is PT Academic Online, so accepted by institutions for entry to study. And as you see, it's not accepted for visa or migration purposes. And then there is PTE Core for all work and migration visas, and PTE Home accepted for UK family visas and settlement. So this is the range of products. If the test taker is planning to take any of them, they will need to visit one of our Pearson test centers, because those tests are taken at the test center. There is PT Academic online version, but PT Core can be taken at the Pearson test center around the world. And to make things super clear, when you are considering studying and going to Canada to study, so PT Academic is the choice for you. When you think about migrating to Canada and working in Canada, PT Core is the choice for you when you will be selecting the test. There is a very simple guide on the PT website, and you can, I encourage you to test it yourself. So when you get to our official page, there you'll see like a book a test. Okay, you see this blue arrow. So you'll find the button book a test. Once you click it, then you'll be presented with the several questions, and the questions are really that easy. So the question will guide you through all your potential choices that you have about your future career, like where do you want to go? And then feel free to choose that. Okay, you can say, I'm not even sure yet where they want to go, but if you choose Canada, and then if you choose from the second selection that I want to work or I want to settle, then the system will present you with the right test for you. So we designed this system to be very simple, just to minimize the risk that the person will book the wrong test. Okay, and then they will take the test and they will see that, okay, that's not the right test, I need to take a different one. So this is a very, very simple procedure guiding potential test takers of choosing the appropriate test for them. PT Academic and PT Core, the details and the differences. So the things that you should, I hope that you'll be able to talk with your future clients when they ask you, okay, but what's the difference between PT Core and PT Academic? So the most important difference, and you already know it, PT Core is general English, okay? Everyday life and the workplace scenario. So everyday life and the workplace scenario, so it means typical situation like that can take place at the workplace. PT Academic tests academic English. From my perspective, when I talk with the test takers, and I attended several language courses in the past, people usually start with general English, and then later on they move to academic English when they want to study, or when they want to read scientific papers, or when they want to get very precise about particular subjects. So in general, they build the command of English in general English. And this command of English is something that you need to have to take PT Core. There are 4 skills assessed, and there are integrated skills within the testing. And the test content, as you'll see, is relevant to everyday life, workplace, and some study situations, but these study situations are non-academic. And we use authentic content. So we've got videos, podcasts, radio program recordings, some emails, internet, various announcements, and even automated telephone helplines. But this is within the general life, I would say. I would call them general life reality. So the things that you meet daily. And PT Academic is relevant to study and professional situations. So then they'll have to listen to the lectures at the university. Okay, they will need to read scientific articles. Okay, so this requires a bit different preparation, but of course, similar to PTE Core, PTE Academy is also using authentic content. There are 19 question types and there are 20 question types in PTE Academic. One question is missing. I will tell you why. So in PTE Core, we don't have highlight correct summary because it was very academic. And there are two question types which are slightly different than PTE Academic. So if you know PTE Academic, you'll be quite familiar with the question types within PTE Core. The same number of questions presented. The test is around 2 hours, single sitting. So it's not like you take the writing sections, then you need several days to take the speaking section. All the sections are within the same exam session lasting 2 hours. And the scoring is on a granular scale from 10 to 90. And there are, so you've got the overall score, and then you've got the communicative skill scores, which are for the further development when a candidate is planning to study and develop the command of English and extend the command of English. Okay, so the test centers around the world, and PTE Core will not be available as a remote proctored test. It means that if you are planning to settle in Canada, to work in Canada, and if you're planning to take PTE Core, you need to visit our test center to take the test. The test bookings, the same procedure, either via phone or online, 24 hours in advance. The test fees are set locally, and they are the same as PTE Academic and PTE Academic UK VI. And the recognition, so you already know it from previous slides, but that is accepted by Canadian government for all work and migration visas. And I repeat it several times, and actually when I was watching, I was observing some of the Facebook chat groups some time ago, and those Facebook, there are different questions, of course, PTE Academic and PTE Core, and at some point, some person asked, okay, what is the purpose of PTE Core? And probably some of them attended one of the webinars done in the past, and they said it's like for all work and migration visas. And when I read the comment, then I said to myself, okay, the message has been shared and they got the point. So this is the point to remember. When it comes to preparation, so once you have your clients, potential test takers, students, because the next sessions will be for teachers dealing with students, there are several options to choose from. Starting from the very first one, you can just get a flavor of PTE Core, trying 5 questions for free, and you'll get like immediate feedback just to get a sample of how it feels to take PTE Core. It's a very as I said, it's like a flavor, just initial taste of what it feels like or when taking PTE Core. Then we've prepared the video question types. And if you are the teacher or the agent and you'll be dealing, visit our website, find question formats, and just play the video question type so that you will know they are very short, minute or two, and they present you with every question type, explaining what the question tests and how to answer it. Plus, there are some extra information given next to every question type. Then there is a PTE Core Test Taker Handbook. Okay, so get access, open it, just look at the table of content so that you'll know what sections do you find there, and you see the sections on the slide about the preparation, about booking procedures, about formal requirements when taking the test, about the things you can bring to the test center, about the things you cannot bring to the exam session, about the score reports, about the terms and conditions, about refunds and cancellations. So this is like a very, like a big pile of knowledge. Well, maybe not so big, but a very concise pile of knowledge for you and for your potential test takers. Then there is online practice test. So the very first one was this flavor of PTE Core, and then you can take it yourself. Actually, you can go to the website and take all the 19 questions. So just you will go through these simulated conditions. You can take it at home. It's for free. And for speaking and writing, you'll be able to compare your answers with the sample answers. And for listening and reading, you'll get a feedback on whether your responses are correct or incorrect. And if we have teachers here, we can talk that actually it's one of the options that you can use this online practice test during the lesson, or you can assign it as homework, and then you can work with your students, because one of the key elements, and I'm sure you know it, is like offering exposure to the exam condition, offering exposure to the question types. And then there is this document, test tips. Worth reading it, worth having a look at it. All the question types with the things that the test takers need to remember, how to take every question type effectively. And you'll see we've designed a study tips for the self-study. So the PTE Core test tips, you can use actually the study tip within the language classroom. You can use it. It can serve you as an inspiration to design an interesting homework, for example. When you've got the repeat sentence, so the study tips suggest, for example, that repeating the sentences, you have no shortage of alternatives when it comes to the videos, online clips, listenings. So you just play a game, play, pause, repeat, and you've got repeat sentence, question type within homework reality. And students can cooperate with each other. They can do it within pairs. They can assess each other responses, and they can always pause, rewind the recording, and play it again, so that to see if they are okay. So the test tips and the study tips are designed for every question type. And the final one, this is something that I told you at the very beginning. Familiarize yourself with the test taker score guide. So you'll know the scoring criteria. So you'll know the information about the automatic scoring. We are running exam sessions and exam webinars for automatic scoring, but this is the Bible for the test taker, but for the teacher and for the agent as well, so that you'll have the knowledge of what's inside. What are the scoring criteria for right email? What are the scoring criteria for repeat sentence? What are the scoring criteria for all the other question types? So these are the documents. And finally, I would enroll on this course if I were you, basically, just to, if you like videos and if you like this guided practice. So there is a free online course that we designed. The course takes you through all the questions with the video, with the expectation, with the requirements. There are sample answers presented there, and there are best practice strategies presented there. You have a chance to do the question type yourself. You have a chance to listen to the sample answers, but all the question types designed and put within the free online course. So go, just enroll on a course, do several lessons, or if you want to become an expert, do all the lessons, and make sure that you include the link to this online course, as you'll be dealing with the test takers, okay? Because you can do it as like a beautiful entry to your exam preparation course, okay? Once you get your students, the very first task they have is like to go through the online course and to come to your classes the knowledge about this test, okay? So that they will not start from scratch. And it's a way different when you have students which are already familiar with PTE Core and the students that know next to nothing about PTE Core, and then you need to spend some time explaining everything one by one. So all those information I've shared with you are available on our website. You've got the overview, you've got the test format where you'll find the videos, you've got this test state, you've got this possibility to test yourself, there is a link to the online course. You see the website on the slide, but if you just type PTE Core, I'm sure the Google will take you to the PTE Core website. You've got the handbook and you've got the other resources that I've mentioned in previous slides. On a test day, so when there is a special video, and when it comes to taking high stake tests, it's not only about the knowledge, it's also about it's not only about the command of English, but it's also about the knowledge of exam procedures. So from my perspective, if I were to design or to run exam preparation course, I would choose, I would say option A, just I would focus on developing my students' command of English and just going for the question types, just building their vocabulary, the grammar, the structure, the fluency, etc., etc. Or I would do it, plus I would include a lesson. You can design a lesson on what to expect on a test day, so that you will assign a homework for your test takers to visit the website. Of course, it's in their own, for their own good. They can do it themselves. You don't have to care about it. But if you bring extra quality to your language classes, design a lesson about it. Ask them as a homework to study, to watch the video, to study the links, and to come fully prepared to the lesson. And then you can talk about it. Actually, what are the things you can do? What's the good amount of time to arrive at the test center? Is like 15 minutes before, 5 minutes before, or actually they need to be 30 minutes before? What type of ID they need to use? Okay, can they stand up? Can they go to the toilet? Can they bring snacks? It's all about designing a lesson or in making it in their interactive form. Of course, I would say the dry structure is like you share the link and you say familiarize yourself with it. If you have any questions, then please ask. So a simple version and a slightly advanced version for those hyper creative teachers and exam providers. The testing rules. So all the tests, I once heard a beautiful metaphor that life is like a cable tie, that you cannot go backwards. And the same with the PTE tests, they are like a cable tie. You cannot go backwards. Once you start the test, you have only one attempt per question type, and you can only move forward. You cannot go backwards. You cannot get second thoughts. It's like, oh, I got 3 question types before. I think I know that there needs to be something different as an answer, and you go back. You cannot do it. Okay, so one attempt, and you can only move forward. That it cannot go back. They cannot go back. It seems obvious, but it's worth sharing this information with potential test takers. And there is a timer provided. And when they take the test, they get a whiteboard and a pen for note taking, because note taking is one of the crucial skills that they will need to master. Because as we'll be going through various question types in the forthcoming sessions, I will tell you about the art of note taking, how can you implement it within the language lesson, and why is it essential that they will acquire a good solid strategy for effective note taking. Okay, so when they are given whiteboard and a pen, it means that they can take notes. The test format: 3 sections. The overall testing time is around 2 hours. And now you have all the question types visible on the screen. For those of you who are familiar with PTE Academic, you will see that almost all question types are the same. There are 2 question types which are different. So there's write email, and in PTE Academic we had write essay, because the essay is academic structure. So the write email. And in PTE Academic we have read a lecture. So of course you attend the lecture and your friend is absent, and you need to retell the lecture to your friend so that they will get the gist. Since we are dealing with everyday life situation, we don't have read a lecture, but we have response to a situation, everyday life content. So respond to the situation as we respond to various situations on a daily basis. And the rest of the question types are exactly the same as within PT Academic. So if you have the knowledge of them, it will be quite easy for you to talk. If not, then just you get a test taker handbook, you get the document of the test, PTE Core test tips, or you watch the videos, and you'll take the test, the online course, and you will have the knowledge about all the question types. Within the next sessions, we will take speaking section and writing. We'll take reading section separately, and we'll take listening section separately, so that you'll have the knowledge how can you teach for PTE Core using general English courseware. So these are just the example things uh, that that the test takers can get in PTE Core. So as you'll see, you've got describe image. They can be asked to show the appropriate direction on the map. They can be asked to describe a recipe, for example, how to cook something. So everyday life situation, you've got the example of repeat sentence, and you've got the example of respond to a situation. So the things that people meet daily in their life and workplace scenarios. The scoring with all the PT portfolio, it's fully computer based using our Pearson AI automatic scoring technology. And the last sentence is particularly important, the one in the slide, that the engine has been trained on a variety of accents. Okay, so the test takers can respond with any accent and use common spelling convention. And we do get these questions from year to year. What about accents? What about accents? So we'll talk about accents when we'll be doing the speaking sections. But just please remember that really the engine has been trained on a variety of accents. So it's not that they have to copy the accent, okay? Accent is not something that they will get them lowest scores. So because from our experience, from my experience, that the candidates will be asking about accent sooner or later, and we'll dive into the accent in the appropriate form and the best way to approach speaking question types in the following session. The score report. So you've got the score report code. As you can see, there is the overall score, and there are communicative skills on a gradual scale from 10 to 90. And please remember that PT Core is aligned to Canadian language benchmarks. And the scores are valid for 2 years, and test takers get it within 2 days. And apart from the score report, they get a skills profile, and they can use the skills profile for their further development with the recommendation, because I hope that once they take the test, it's not the end of the language development, okay? Because there's a lifelong learning option. I hope that every test takers, when they plan to move, especially to a different country, they will reach a point when there will be there won't be any difference for them in communicating, whether they will be using their mother language or whether they will be using their second language. So the skills profile can be used for further development. And this is something that you need to know, and you need to visit this website, our IRCC website, to see the score alignment. And the score required, the CLB score required, it depends on the program the test takers are applying. And it's good to check the website because it's been updated. I think the last update, when I was checking the website today, the last date was like it was updated on the 3rd of March 2024, so 2 months ago. But this is something that you need to know and the test takers need to know. And there is another website which is called the Center for Canadian Language Benchmarks. If you type Center for Canadian Language Benchmarks and you'll go to this website, you'll have the sample recordings, you'll have the PDF with the can-do statements for Canadian language benchmark. You'll have a chance to listen to the person on grade 3 and 4, or to listen to the person on the grade 7 or 8, so that you'll know what type of level is expected for particular score. So Center for Canadian Language Benchmark and IRCC website for the most up-to-date information. And then extra information. So extra brochures, extra leaflets we designed. If you want to get access to them, probably the best option would be to reach out to Fabiana or to contact your local Pearson representative and say that you've attended the webinar. You've had, there is a brochure, an overview of PTE Core, or you've had, there is a general flyer, general information for the test takers, a very simple 2-page flyer, so you can print it out or you could share it in digital version with the correlation, for example, with CLB, with the scores explained, or you want students to know a bit more about differences, so a flyer comparing PTE Core versus PTE Academic, of why to choose each test. Although I told you at the very beginning, if you go to the website and if you click book the test, the system will guide the test takers so that they will choose the right test. But you can use this flyer in conversation with your potential customers at some educational fairs or something. Or there's a flyer comparing PTE Core with different exams. So these are the materials which are at your disposal. So basically, if you think that they are relevant for your progression in your business, for your exam preparation sessions, so get in touch with the local Pearson representatives and just ask to get access to them. Some of the materials you can download immediately, even after the webinar, from our website. So the steps when it comes to booking the tests are easy. So the first one for the potential test takers is like they need to create PTE account at pearsonpt.com/book. They get an email within the login details and booking the test. And it's very important to remember that the test takers' profile details must match those on their official ID. So this is one of the elements that the test takers, they need to learn by heart. When they use acceptable ID in the registration procedure, they must bring the same ID to the test center. It's not that they bring a copy or they bring a different ID, okay? Those elements must be the same, because there is nothing worse than preparing effectively, studying really hard, devoting personal time, developing, booking the test, and being late for the test, or bringing wrong ID and not being able to sit the test. And finally, this is the list of sample questions that were asked from time to time. It's like the same booking conditions applied to PTE Core, such as rescheduling, accommodations. Yes, the same term conditions will apply to PTE Core. So there is this PTE Core handbook, and you'll have all the information there. The vouchers, for those of you who are interested in vouchers, they are available from the Pearson VUE voucher store. Booking the right test, this is something they told you about. So you need to select the right test, but the system will help you to select the right test. As you saw in the slide, it's really simple. And the knowledge, the information that you have as a teacher, as an exam preparation provider, as an agent, should help your test takers to book the test. And of course, you'll be able to book, if you are a PTE partner, you'll be able to book PTE Core via the partner portal. The smooth test day. So this is this extra lesson that I've told you about. So design a lesson, if you're a teacher, about the test center recommendation about the time, about the AD, like do's and don'ts. You can design a group, you can divide a group into the two separate teams to design a competition, or you can create your own poster. It's going to be a nice language learning activity about the do's and don'ts when taking the test. Okay, but we recommend always using a passport as the form of ID. So those elements and the details when they present, when they put in while logging in and booking the test, must match the ones that are presented on their passport. Does PTE Core use authentic content source materials? Yes. So you can share this information with potential test takers that they will be dealing with authentic content, but it's gonna be general interest level. Okay, so once they will be studying and preparing using authentic content, this is the content that they will be presented with when they will be taking the test. And this is the question. That's an interesting one. It's like, can test takers prepare for PTE Core with PTE Academic prep resources? Because they have similar question type. I would say it depends, but honestly, I would say it's better not to do it. The best option when I think as a potential teacher running exam preparation courses is to treat those two exams separately, although they have similar question types. The very first difference is the difference academic English versus general English. And if you have test takers that they are not familiar with academic English, and academic English is a bit specific in the form, in the language, in the vocabulary presented there. So some of the materials might be too challenging for those test takers. So the best option would be to separate. You're preparing for PTE Core, so we'll be using general English material. You're preparing for PTE Academic, we'll be using PTE Academic, we'll be using academic English materials. And how long before? I guess around the world, there are some instances that people fail to plan effectively and basically they arrive late. So this is not the best option. If you've spent some time on preparation course, then you are fully equipped with your knowledge and then you come late for your test. So this is something not to miss. So I hope that this was like a very general introduction, and I hope that by the end of this session, you already know the information about PTE Core, its application. You'll have some basic information that imagine that you finish this session and there is a knock on the door and there is a potential person coming into your office and asking, hey, can you tell me something about PTE Core? And if you can tell this person few sentences about PTE Core, it means that you've done your job. And then later on, all you need to do is like access the materials that we prepared and dig deeper. Okay, Fabiana, if I could have you, because I wasn't looking at the Q&A, and if I could have you share with us what were the questions, anything else that is worth mentioning.
Yes, definitely. Can you hear me?
Yes,
correctly?
we can hear you.
Perfect. Great. So some of the questions that I got that I think are important for everyone to know is like, who accepts PTE? So that's something that we can share. We have on our website a link where you can find who accepts the test, and if it's PTE Core, PTE Academic Online. So that's something that you should check every time before applying to any institution or any different programs around the world. So I'm sharing the link here on the chat. Another question that came up is where to find the score guide. So I will also be sharing that.
Just make sure you click reply to everyone.
Oh, yeah.
And
sorry.
Yes. I pasted the previous link to everyone.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah. Now I changed it. So here is the score guide for everyone that needs to find it. Another question was how can they get resources for teachers to teach PTE other than these webinars. So I have the link here as well for everyone to see. And preparation materials, where they can find preparation materials for PTE Core. So for PTE Core, PTE Academic, you can find all of the resources that we have available on our website. I'm just gonna paste here as well the ones for PTE Core, but on the same website, you can find the ones for PTE Academic. Those were the main questions. Another question that came up was if any other government will accept PTE Core for immigration purposes. So right now, the only government that accepted is the government of Canada. That being said, it's not a test that was created for Canada exclusively. So, you know, that will depend on the governments, and we will have an update if anything changes. So yeah, keep an eye on our updates.
Yeah, I can see there's one question from Samuel, like are all of the prep materials available to us before booking the exam? Yes, actually, you can just go to the PT page and access the preparation materials. You can enroll on the course right after the webinar. It's for free. So use anything that is best for you and for your potential clients. So this is, and of course we are expanding, so we'll be adding extra materials as we go by.
Yes, and I see a question from Maria Paula about what's the level of English required to take the test. It will depend on the program that they're applying for. Yes, we do have the correspondence with, I will get the link as well there for you.
So we'll share, we'll contact you. One of the best option is, as Fabiana said, like you visit the website, you check with your student what's the level required, then you visit the Center for Canadian Language Benchmarks, for example, that you can see what type of level is required, listen to the recordings, look at the can-do statements, and then basically you'll get the understanding of the level required. Okay. Anything else, Fabiana?
Those are the main questions we got.
Okay. I can see the chat, like, can they get a free practice test? You can get this practice test online, because just go to this website, take online practice test, all the 19 question types. You'll have like home edition, like a very first intro exposure to the question types. You'll have the chance to compare your answer with the sample answers, and you'll have a chance to look at correct or incorrect answers when it comes to the listening and reading.
Yes, and about teacher resources available. We do have some resources for both PTE Core, PTE Academic. PTE Core is a newer test, so we don't have as many resources as with PTE Academic, but that's why we're also running these webinars for you to be able to create your own teaching resources.
Yeah. And as for the teaching resources, please remember, as we said, like PTE Core is general English. So if it's general English, it means that, and that's why we encourage you to take part in the upcoming sessions, because then we'll show you how you can build question type exposure within your English learning lesson using general English course book. Because, for example, if you have describe image, if you have response to the situation, it's very easy for you to recreate some of the instructions in the course book and have a beautifully designed PTE Core question type practice within the lesson.
Yes, and another question here is like, how much is the PTE Core? So our tests are priced regionally, so it will depend on where the test is taken. So I will share here a list where you can see all of the test centers and the fees based on where they're taking it. So you can check into that.
Okay. So I guess that will be all. Thank you for being interactive. Thank you for using Q&A, using the chat. The next session will be using chat as well, because there will be some extra elements. Get the knowledge, access the resources, share the information with your prospective clients, and stay with us, because we've got more things to come to make your preparation protocols, exam preparation sessions better. Thanks a lot.
Yes, thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.